Welcome back to the Pitch Pod. This is our first episode that we believe is going to make it on air. We had some hiccups last week with our pilot episode. We're new to this, new tech, but welcome to the Pitch Pod. I'm Jess Stebbins, and my co-host today, Joe Janner. Welcome back. So, Joe, you want to kind of break down the Arsenal match from last week that we had a little bet on and kind of let the viewers know what happened in case they missed the match?
Well, for sure, I will admit that I did predict a 1-1 draw. Wasn't the result as a final. Had I predicted for the first half, I would have been spot on with the 1-1 at the half. And a little bit in the sense of what I predicted was true and accurate the first 15 minutes, whereas they seemed to be kind of feeling each other out in the sense that neither team really had that much of an advantage until the 20th minute. Thomas Partey scored to put Arsenal up 1. You then knew it was going to open up a bit, and sure enough, with a equalizer within that first half to go level at the half, 1-1, you still even looked at that point knowing that there's going to be more goals in that game. So I already knew at that point, with halftime, 1-1, that wasn't going to be where it was going to finish. There was no way, and certainly by the time it ended, it was 3-1. Arsenal victorious in that contest, and really pretty much the dominate side, and really not too many question marks as far as what they're doing and what they did for that. So I missed that mark in the sense, if I, again, was making a prediction on the half, I was fine, but this game is about two halves.
Yeah, you said it there. I did predict, I believe in the scorebook, I'm up 1-0. Is that right? Due to my correct prediction of the Arsenal winning. I did think that they would win. They've been on a hot streak, but I just did not think it would be that big of a blowout. It just seemed like they dominated the match. You're right, first half, it was a little bit more even, but after that, it just broke wide open, and I feel like Arsenal was just competing with themselves at one point.
That's a good way to look at it. In a sense, I think we're in agreement that Arsenal was clearly the more dominant side in that match and really continued to show good form, staying atop the league, and they are the team to beat.
Yeah, and that kind of brings us to this week. So we're looking at Arsenal, Liverpool. This is going to be a fun one. I can't wait to watch this match. And, I have some different feelings about it. I think a lot of predictions are kind of split down the middle right now at this point, which to me is kind of surprising. That's what the Pitch Pod is all about, is trying to help people that are new to the game of soccer learn the game, learn a little bit about the Premier League, and hopefully our predictions will help you make your predictions as well. But don't necessarily bet all the money on what we say, right? It's just our opinions, not formal advice, right, Joe?
Right. We're not here advising on a professional level where to do with your money. But
yeah, it's your money, your problem, right?
Your money, your problem. I like that.
But it seems like a lot of people are kind of split on this game, and from what I've seen from Liverpool, they've just been very dominant offensively with Jesus. I already have my mind. I'll save my prediction for the end, but. I think Liverpool's going to have a tough one with this match. I really think that they're going to struggle with this one.
See, I see things a little bit differently in the sense that, yes, it's been a rough start for them, and Arsenal to some extent smooth sailing. But I think there's going to be something in this fixture just based on some of the historical rivalry. It's a match that, in this phase of the season, the campaign is still meaningful. Probably more meaningful for Liverpool to get a result out of this in the positive with a win So you know that they're going to be all in a sense, to go after this and win. And I think that's going to show up, and I think it's going to show up early. I will go. I think we're going to see an early Liverpool goal. I think that this could be the match where Liverpool looks to come out and score early, maybe score often, and could end up being maybe not a side that's going to completely turn Arsenal on their head and switch their direction as far as the momentum, what they're doing. But I don't think this is going to be the type of game we've seen recently and or this whole season from Arsenal, that they seemingly are doing it with ease. I think this could be the match where we see Arsenal maybe struggle.
You make some good points there. Arsenal's been on this winning streak, and it gets to a point where, are they still as motivated as they were at the beginning of the season? Liverpool's got to be hungry. They've had so many draws. They're looking for a big win to kind of regain some of that glory that they had last season. So this is kind of their opportunity. I agree 100% when you factor in the history of the game, the legacy of these two competitors. And when they show up, it's not the previous matches and the records at this point aren't going to matter when those two teams hit the field. I agree 100%. So you make a great point there. My logically, I want to say when you look at the records, Arsenal, right, all the way, right? They're just destroying the league at this point with only Man City right behind them. But you bring in that kind of that factor that you can't really have statistics for. I mean, they're going to show up and they're going to be ready. They're hungry. They have a lot on the line, and those are things that the record doesn't always display. So I think that's a great point. Yeah.
Then I think another level of looking into is also what they've been doing in their other competition. I mean, both are in European football. Both are competing in their respective tournaments. Liverpool, Champions League, Arsenal, Europa League. Maybe one factor also that Liverpool's had another day or additional day off going into this match that could be a contributing factor. Again, that's partially a part of where I would put a little bit of a emphasis on Liverpool's ability to pull off a win here, in the sense that that's probably going to be one of the factors, looking at where they are with what they have, time to rest, additional training time and preparation for this. Not only what they're doing in the league, but then what they can put themselves in front to do this upcoming match.
Yeah, and I think would you agree with me that Liverpool's not the same team that they were last year?
I think, definitely would agree with you. So far, early on this season, they are not the team that they were of the last 3 and 4 and 5 years, for sure.
Yeah. So knowing that, who's Liverpool going to rely on? Who's going to be their go-to guys if they're going to pull this off?
It's going to have to be, well, where they've struggled. I'll start there with what they've struggled is somehow figuring out how they're going to bolster their midfield to be able to support, to have abilities to create, to provide opportunities for their goal scorers. In this case, Salah. I mean, he needs to show up. He's really, I wouldn't say a drought in a sense, but he's underperforming. I think we're at 2 goals. Again, this is where having someone checking the facts as we go would be nice. I don't have my sheet there. I'm pretty sure it's 2 goals for the season and 9 contests, not nearly enough for somebody that you're dependent on to score goals for your side. And in this contest, maybe this, again, kind of going along with the theme, maybe this is the contest. This guy shows up and bags a couple. So maybe put that on. Maybe we haven't got to the result prediction, but I'm looking at maybe this is a game, early goal, couple from Salah, and maybe a contributing additional goal from somebody else. I mean, I'll just go on record here. I think we're looking at 3-2 Liverpool.
Okay, so you're jumping right into the predictions. All right, 3-2 Liverpool. Okay, that's the Joe Janner prediction of the week. Is that right? 3-2 Liverpool. I need to write this down.
Yeah, please do, because you might even make note. I'd like to see if it does happen. I'd like to see if maybe this is a contest again. Arsenal's going there feeling pretty confident about themselves, and they just take a shot to the chin immediately with the early goal from Liverpool. I'd like to see if that doesn't come to be a part of the prediction even more specifically, but I could see a final result of 3-2. So yes, please write that down.
Write that down. I like that. Write that down. I totally understand where Joe's coming from. I think it will be a higher scoring game. I agree with you there. I don't think we're going to see a 1-1 draw. I don't think that's going to happen. I do think the first half, similar to last week, is going to be pretty conservative. I do see that taking place. But second half, I think we're going to see some excitement. And that's why I'm tuning into the game. I'm going to go similar to you with the score, but I'm going to go 3-2, and I'm going to give the nod to Arsenal.
Wow.
I think they're going to stay at the top of the Premier League and put this one away. I think they have this. That's where I'm going to put my money, at least.
Okay, so it's a reverse prediction then. You got Arsenal winning 3-2 against my Liverpool win 3-2. That's interesting. Let's see how this plays out. This could be it's definitely going to be a fun contest to watch. I'm really excited about this being our featured match of the week. So I hope we get to see where we're at, and come this time next week, we'll have some more opportunity to talk about where we're right, hopefully, or so where we might be a little bit wrong. But again,
absolutely, and hopefully everyone at home who's tuning in enjoyed listening to our takes on what we think is going to happen, how it's going to play out.